we as consumers think about fragrance, we're just thinking about pretty smells. But did you know the ingredient fragrance on a product label can be any of 3,000 plus ingredients? I'm Kristen, this is Kristen Unpoisoned, and on this channel we take the poison out of everyday living, and today we're going to do that by taking a look at the ingredient fragrance, which isn't just about all of our cleaning and personal care products. Make sure to watch all the way through to the end because we're going to go over a few alternative products that you'll find useful. Fragrance is a blanket term that covers about 3,000 different chemical components a company can legally use to create a scent. Companies don't have to disclose which of those 3,000 ingredients they're using to make fragrance in their product because it's considered a trade secret. That way, no one else can use the exact formula that they're using and then sell the exact same thing. Companies love to put fragrance in their products because it's a way to emotionally connect with consumers and influence them to buy. That's why you'll find fragrance in nearly every single personal care product and cleaning product on the market. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. I mean, we like things to smell good, right? And fragrance is powerful. Scent marketing is a fascinating marketing strategy where companies create signature scents tailored to their target audience, and then they spray this throughout their business as a way to influence customer behavior. If done well, this can increase customer satisfaction in a store, cause customers to buy more product, and increase the likability and trustworthiness of a business. So we've come to be pretty obsessed with fragrance, at least here in the US. But with fragrance everywhere, all the time, and nothing on the ingredient list, how can we be sure we're not exposing ourselves to potentially hazardous chemicals? Most of us assume if something is on the shelf for us to buy, then it's 100% safe for us to use. But just like that's not the case with food products, it's not the case with fragrance products either. Fragrance ingredients aren't really regulated at all, at least not in a trustworthy, unbiased way. Here's a piece from an article on womensvoices.org that explains it. Chemicals used in fragrance are virtually unregulated by government agencies in the United States. Neither the Food and Drug Administration nor the Environmental Protection Agency has direct authority to monitor or require safety testing for fragrances used in cleaning products or cosmetics. Instead, the International Fragrance Research Association, an industry trade group, sets standards for fragrance manufacturers and facilitates safety reviews of fragrance ingredients. IFRA publishes a code of practice, which is a set of voluntary standards for manufacturers of fragrance. However, there remains an inherent conflict of interest when a trade group funded by industry holds the responsibility for regulating itself. So we don't really regulate our 3,000 plus chemical ingredients here in the US, and any product with the word fragrance in it can have hundreds of these chemicals in it. But just because something has a chemical ingredient in it doesn't mean necessarily that it's bad for our health. I get that. I do wonder, why does the EU ban 1,300 chemicals in cosmetics alone while the US only bans 11? That does seem a bit concerning. Womensvoices.org used a tool called the Green Screen List Translator to determine which of the 3,000 plus chemical ingredients allowed in fragrance in the US have been flagged as possibly dangerous by other research scientists around the world. I'll link to the article in the description below this video so you can get all the details, but in short, they found that over 1,200 of the currently allowed chemicals are potentially toxic. That is concerning. Many chemicals have been proven to cause adverse health effects, and yet they're still used in our fragrance ingredients. These are just a few examples. Let's take a quick look at Febreze, which is a super popular brand of fragrance. They make candles, they make plugins, they make stuff that you spray all up in the air. I guess you call it an air freshener. They have a page dedicated to convincing us their ingredients are all natural and completely safe. See the soothing blue and white color scheme and use of images like clouds and leaves. We know the products you use and the ingredients they contain are important to you. So go ahead, take a peek at the label. We're confident you'll recognize what's in each bottle of Febreze.
Doubtful. Very doubtful.
Alright, the first ingredient here is made from corn, which is a grain. And if you've watched any of my other videos, you know that it's a good idea for autoimmune folks to stay away from grain. And I know grain in fragrance is just a small exposure and it might not bother you at all. It might bother you and you not notice it, or it might bother you a lot. If you're in the midst of an autoimmune flare, or if you're just feeling bad, you might want to go ahead and skip anything that has grain in it at all, even little things like fragrance. Alright, so looking forward here. Well, I can confidently say I don't know what most of these ingredients are. There's fragrance. See how they don't tell us what it is? And the alcohol, like most, is grain-based. So it's probably a good idea to stay away from it just because of that. I know their Air Effects sprays are pretty popular, so let's take a look at one of those. Here's the Air Effects Bora Bora Waters Spray. Wait, but this picture, this is Taha'a, not Bora Bora. Because that's Mount Otsumanu in the distance, which is actually Bora Bora. So that's interesting. On the product page for Bora Bora, they have Taha'a, with Bora Bora way in the distance that you can barely even see it. Okay, anyway, let's click Smart Label to see what they've got on the ingredient list here. Bora Bora waters. Alright, so we've got water, alcohol denatured. And notice they don't tell you what this alcohol is made of, so we'll just assume it's grain alcohol since they didn't tell us anything. Castor oil, fragrances. Alright, so that is a lot of fragrance, and they make it really hard to see it all because there's weird pop-ups in the way. Okay, so it's good that they at least list a lot of the chemicals that they use in their fragrance. That's more than a lot of people do. Of course, we can't trust that this is all of the fragrance that they use in it. There could be more, and this is just what they're going to tell us because they're not regulated to tell us everything. So this is just what they want us to know. And yep, I can confidently say I do not recognize any of these ingredients. I mean, to know what all of these are, I would have to read a bunch of research on each item to figure out what it actually is. So I mean, it's good that they're listing it out here, I guess, but I still don't know what any of it is. Even though it's listed, it's not super helpful. Yeah, so that's a lot of work, and I don't know about you, but I really don't have time to spend or read all the research on all the ingredients in that, so I guess good on you for listing out some ingredients. But lucky for us, there are alternatives that do not require us to read a ton of research beforehand to know if we can use it or not. Let me just interrupt real quick to ask if you're finding this helpful, give it a like because that's going to help it to spread to more people. And if you like this kind of video with information about how to keep your life unpoisoned, go ahead and subscribe as well because that might someday make it so I can make this channel monetize.
Thanks.
You thought I was going to start with perfume, but we're going to save that one for last. It can be hard to find a lotion that doesn't have fragrance in the ingredient list, especially if you're just going to your big box store and trying to look there. I use the Honey Girl Organics Extra Sensitive Lotion. It doesn't have any essential oils in it at all either, so it really just smells like its main ingredient, which is honey. But it can be kind of pricey. There are a few alternatives that I found from Carina Organics. I've not tried these yet, but they're grain-free and the ingredient list looks really good. There's no fragrance in them, so you can check these out. For shampoo, I use Moon Valley Organics shampoo bars. My favorite conditioner is the Living Libations Shine On Hair Conditioner, but it is kind of expensive. So if you're trying to save money, I also have started using a couple conditioners that are a little bit less expensive by Carina Organics. Those are the Unscented Deep Treatment Conditioner and Botanical Therapeutic Tree Essence Moisturizing Conditioner. Both of those are really light scented. Well, the one is unscented, so it just kind of smells pleasant but extremely light. There's no like real scent. And the other one is similar but has more of a, like the botanical scent is a little bit stronger with that one. But of course, none of them have any fragrance in them. For makeup, I use Brooke Organics. They don't have any fragrance in any of their products, but everything smells really great because all of the botanicals that they use. You do need to check the labels though because they do have some items that have grain in them in the form of corn and rice. If you are sensitive to grain, you definitely want to check those labels, but Brooke is a great brand and it's what I'm using right now. My favorite face moisturizer is by Buffalo Gal Grass Fed Beauty. It is the Emu and Tallow Balm. I also love the Honey Girl Organics Prime Stick. Deodorant is tricky because I know everybody's body is different and it's really hard to find a good natural deodorant that actually works. But for me, Primal Pit Paste and Pretty Frank work pretty well. They have unscented varieties as well as one scented with essential oils. Now, laundry products, that can be so hard to find some that doesn't have any fragrance in it and it's also grain-free. I use Truly Free Unscented Laundry Wash. It's great, there's no grain in it, and there's no fragrance in it, so can't go wrong with that. They have several other items you can use that are fragrance-free and grain-free. You can watch this video up here for more information on that. Instead of air fresheners, it's pretty simple just to use an essential oil diffuser. Or you can learn how to make your own room sprays. Let me know in the comments below if a video on how to make your own room sprays is something that you'd want me to make. When it comes to car air fresheners, try the ceramic diffuser by Florihana. I have some little ceramic beads by the same brand. Unfortunately, they don't make the beads anymore. This product here is essentially the same thing, but a little simpler to use. You just drop essential oils onto it and hang it up on your rear view mirror or, you know, anywhere in your car, and it'll have that nice scent throughout your car, especially in the summertime when it's hot. The best and healthiest candles you can burn are 100% beeswax candles with organic cotton wicks. They have that pleasant light smell of honey, and you can get them scented with essential oils as well. Think simple. Household cleaners do not have to be complicated. You can use things like hydrogen peroxide. Lots of things can be cleaned just with water. And that brand Truly Free that I use for laundry products, they also have a lot of cleaning products on their site too. I've not used them yet. I've only used the laundry products, but they're probably pretty effective as well, and they won't have fragrance in them. And last but not least, perfume and cologne. Living Libations has tons of perfumes and colognes to choose from, and they come in little tiny sizes as well if you wanted to try a bunch of them and just smell them each before you commit to a bigger bottle. I bought the Lilac Lady Petal perfume. It is lovely. Lilac is so hard to find in a natural form because the way you have to extract it is so delicate and difficult, so it's hard to find. So the lilac that I guess most people are used to is that weird like synthetic lilac smell that's kind of old lady smell, but let me tell you, this stuff, it's like spring. So that's the only one that I have from the brand, but I want to try a bunch of the little tiny ones too because there's so many to choose from, and the reviews on there make them sound so good. You can also try other small businesses like Urb Apothecary. They create fragrances once a year during the holidays in beautiful containers. I have this seashell perfume balm from them from last year, created from botanicals of course, with no fragrance. Let me know in the comments if you found this helpful, if you have any questions, and if you have any products without fragrance that you love and recommend. Keep living an unpoisoned life, and I'll see you next time.